Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, I'm Kathy Burgher, and I'm going to read something I wrote recently. It's called In the Beginning. In the beginning, I'll never forget my 57th year. My birthday wishes were overshadowed with words I didn't want to hear. Words no one wants to hear. Happy birthday. I'm sorry, you have cancer. The words from my surgeon echoed in my mind as he continued speaking, his words inaudible to me as the echoing inside continued. Cancer. You have cancer. The brightness of the room had suddenly faded to a grayish haze, like someone had suddenly shut the lights off. My peripheral vision had disappeared, and I was suddenly in the tunnel. Time stood still. My husband's face of pallor and shock spoke truth to my doctor's words. I always knew this was possible with my family history, but I would soon realize that thinking of the possibility and the reality of hearing those words are two very different things. I had just seen the doctor 2 months earlier. When I first found the lump, it was hard. It was located at the bottom of my breast by my rib cage. I tried to convince myself it was just my rib. To confirm my suspicion, I had Kevin take a look. The look on his face told me what I didn't want to hear. The lump was less than 2 centimeters. I was applauded on my early find. I was given 2 choices, lumpectomy with radiation or mastectomy with chemo. I thought, what a choice. Lumpectomy, partially deformed and fried. Or total amputation and toxins. I knew I didn't want radiation. Thoughts of nuclear annihilation and air raid drills in school, of crouching in hallways with hands over our heads, as if that was going to save us all, entered my mind. I went home knowing what I wanted, but still unable to process the day's announcement. The next week, I told the doctor, amputation, that's the way I want to go. Hell, take them both off. I don't want to walk around lopsided the rest of my life. I was offered reconstruction at the same time, and I said no. I'm too busy to be laid up any longer. I also needed to process the loss before I thought of replacements. I came through surgery fine and did not feel as bad as I thought I would. I came home the next day with an ACE bandage wrapped tightly around my chest. Extra strength Tylenol helped with the pain. I only needed to take the prescription pain med the doctor ordered twice. My chest and the area surrounding it was numb. After the numbness subsided, it felt as if someone had tied a rope tightly around my chest. 2 small plastic bottles hung from each side of my chest to catch the fluid that I had to pump for a week. I never envisioned pumping my chest again after breastfeeding my children. After I healed from surgery, I was ready for chemo and to go for my fitting for my prosthesis. When I tried them on, I felt they were heavy and larger than my natural breast. I wore them for about a week before I placed them with my different wigs I had not worn, vowing to donate them to someone who could use and appreciate their value. They just weren't for me. I had 8 months of chemo, which in all honesty was not bad except for being tired and low white counts. I had received my chemo at the medical center where my doctor worked. I would see him before chemo and after if needed. The nurses were compassionate and friendly, and the place was full of life. The room was bright and cheery, not the picture I had envisioned. I actually looked forward to going. After I felt better and knew I could drive, I would embark on this journey myself. I would arrive with books for reading and writing and wool to crochet. After I finished chemo, I continued to see my oncologist every 3 months for blood work. I felt great and wanted to get on with my life. I vowed I would fight to the finish. I had too much left to do in life. My pathology reports came back with no lymph node involvement, margins clear. I was ecstatic. Little did I realize I would be visiting the chemo clinic once again the following year. The next summer, my liver enzymes had elevated 1 point. My doctor was not too concerned, but being cautious, decided to recheck my levels in 3 weeks instead of waiting 3 months. My enzymes continued to climb. I then was introduced to my first of many scans. Being an optimist and not wanting to worry my family, I arrived at the doctor's office alone when the news that my cancer had spread to my bones, liver, and lungs was delivered. I drove home shocked and scared. I had to tell my family, which bothered me more than hearing the news for myself. I am lucky as my family was brave and supportive of me. They wanted me to fight and get involved. That fall, I joined the Burgher House in Kingston and attended a women's support group there, and later the metastatic support group and the memoir writing group. I was not too excited about attending the metastatic group as I was fearful it would be too depressing. After the first meeting, I had come to find out the opposite was true. After 2.5 years since I've embarked on this journey, I have come to realize and am grateful to my family, the Burgher Support House, Breast Cancer Options, Barbara, Abby, and the many people who give of themselves and their time, and the people I have met and grown to love, that with my sadness I found optimism, with my anxiety I found peace, with my fear I found comfort, with my despair I found hope, and with love I found friends. I've not only learned to live with cancer, but also thrive.